Good morning, guys. It is August 9th, 2023, and it's the start of the season. And I hope that you don't think I've been too dark, meaning not in a loop. I've, intentionally worked on taking care of some things myself, get myself ready and excited and energized for the upcoming season. And I want to respect you guys to allow you the opportunity to do the same. We know it's a time of the year that we enjoy and we love so much, but we do know that it takes a lot of energy and effort, and the sacrifices you guys make is inspiring and appreciated. And so I'm just excited to get back at it. I didn't want to belabor anything or host meetings or get you guys engaged in full group uh, coaching staff meetings until we got embedded, and we're now in. And so today is it. We're in. And we've got an exciting day ahead of us. Looks like we'll have about 85 kids. We're not there yet. We're about 73 right now, I think. And so, we just got a lot of excitement about this program. And that excitement, obviously, is it relates to the program and the culture that you guys have helped develop. And I appreciate that. And I expect it to continue. I expect us to continue to go out there and face the new challenges with the same energy and excitement that we've faced things in the past. I expect and hope that you guys go out there with a fresh start and you're looking at kids through a different lens. Because even though I've seen them a lot, I can tell you that I've seen tremendous amount of growth. And these kids are willing and wanting to be out there with you. They believe in us. They trust us. And we just got to go out there and continue to carry that torch. Because remember, we're using this game, intentionally using this game to transform and impact lives. And it's not something that we take for granted. I know that, some of you guys have experienced that from different levels, be it as a coach, learning it from the way we do things in our program. And even some of you guys have experienced it as a player being in a program and understanding it. So I just want to kind of touch on some key points that I want to kind of just start us off with today, and then plan on Saturday after we finish practice, getting some lunch and having a good 2 hour meeting following practice and lunch to go over some of the things that we got to really dig in deep on for this season and kind of unpack some things that we need to talk about for the upcoming weeks. So, biggest thing that I want you guys to understand, if you can remind yourself that you want to be the coach that you would want your son or daughter to have, I think that covers a lot of bases here. And when I say that, I'm going to have a video that I'm sharing with you guys by Joe Ehrman that he recently used or spoke at a conference down in Nashville, Tennessee. I know you guys are aware of Joe Ehrman, the book he wrote, Inside Out Coaching. And he's a big proponent of three-dimensional coaching through fellowship Christian athletes. Wonderful guy. He used to play for the Colts. I've referenced him a lot. And ironically, last night at our head coaches meeting for Calvert County, Kevin Hook used this video, and I thought it summed up a lot of things that I share in my heart that I think that every one of us could get a refresher on, and even some of us who've never seen it can kind of get an idea and a perspective on why we're called to do the things we're called to do. But that's the thing, right? To be the coach that you would want your son or daughter to have means that, you know what, there's something that goes beyond the professional responsibility when you think about that, right? When you think about not the way we maybe coach, but what is needed for our kids today. What is it that our kids need to get out of a mentor leader in that platform, in a place where the kids are at a spot where they're motivated to be there? All right. What are we supposed to do, and how are we supposed to handle that situation? And obviously we prepare and we coach and we work our tails off to win. All right. Because in the winning and losing is where we grow and learn a lot. But make no bones about it, that all happens as a default to something that we do that's a whole lot bigger. And that's trying to grow just unbelievably great young men and use that as an inspiration to grow a community, to grow a school, to grow families, to just ensure that we're trying to pass a legacy along that these young men can be guaranteed to have a better chance at being successful as a parent, as a husband, and as a worker or a workee, whatever it might be for their future. Transactional versus transformational. We all fall on different levels of that spectrum when we think about that. And I've talked about that a lot. We have transactional responsibilities. A lot of those responsibilities are professional. And professional duties and responsibilities are something that we got to make sure that we uphold and do a great job of. However, that doesn't supersede the transformational approach to coaching. And so that transformational approach is how I am actually going in and impacting the spirit and the heart of that person who's in front of me, of that program. And the transactional mindset is like, what can I get this guy to do to help me be successful as a coach, to help us win, to help us gain a certain amount of points on the scoreboard. And so I think that, we have a staff of coaches that, although we do vary on that, and like I said, certain areas we may vary more than others, but I can tell you that from where I sit and where I look at, we have a great staff of men who are transformational coaches. And so, if you have any more questions about that, I'd like to share it, but we do have a balance there that we're going to continue to uphold and ensure that we're doing a great job at both. Professional responsibilities, again, comes under that transactional, mindset. And I think that when you look at it beyond profession, right, it's not just a professional responsibility. Let's go back to that mindset that what kind of coach would I want my son or daughter to have? Well, let's think about that. Do we want a coach who goes out and has no organization? The drills look half-keltered and not smartly thought through. The kids are put in situations that aren't productive. We've got a line of 10 players and only 2 guys are doing a drill and 8 are watching. The coach comes out and he's late. The coach may not be there. These are things that are professional responsibilities that when you sign up to coach, I know that you understand and take seriously. And so those things are not just professional responsibilities, because they also can affect the ability for that young person on the other side, for that parent, for that community to trust us. And if they don't trust us, then we have a hard time impacting that heart. And so by doing the things that any professional should do, the coach that we would want our son or daughter to have would do, I think develops trust that, hey, this guy is here for my best interest. And then slowly we start to cultivate that fuel, that fire in their heart that stirs something that's bigger than the game of football. So I hit on a couple of professional responsibilities, others that you guys know that I take personal. But again, it's not to put anybody out there or suggest that you guys can't be imperfect. I am imperfect, and I'll be the first to admit it when I'm called out on it. And I expect you guys to do so. Hold me accountable. But I try to curb my language. It's an important thing to me because I think that shows discipline in my life. I try to be very early and on time. I rarely miss anything that we have going on. If I am not there, I'm going to be sure that I hold or I let everybody else know what's going on and what we've got to take care of. And I delegate and make sure the responsibilities that need to be taken care of today are taken care of. I communicate with our players a lot and regularly, checking in with them beyond just how they're doing for the day because they may have gotten injured, but just checking with them because, you know what, I care about their well-being, being a part of their academia, making sure they're doing well there. These are the things that I do that I think are important to the program. And I know that you guys have things that you guys do, and some of them the same way too. But these are other professional responsibilities that I think also lend into that mindset of like, hey, am I being the coach that I would want my son or daughter to have? And the last slide here, purpose. Why are we here? And that's a very, very difficult statement for some of us to answer. A long time ago, not a long time ago, but 4 or 5 years ago, I shared my why statement after reading a book, Lead for God's Sake, and I, annotated, I don't know, 6 pages with sloppy handwriting, why I believe we do what we do, and really from my own purpose, my own heart of why I do what I do. And I want you guys to understand that you need to find a purpose in this. I know that you guys are making sacrifices to do this. You're sacrificing time with your family for hobbies. Some of you guys are taking a hit at work, and you don't do that unless there's a bigger reason why. Because if you're doing it just because you enjoy Friday nights, then it's not going to be sustainable, And so when the things are tough that lead to the Friday night lights, like 2-a-day practice or being at a meeting a little longer or coming in on a Saturday, and you're a little reluctant to try to do that when you want to do something else, because at the end of the day, I just want to play football games. I just want to be there for football games. We don't want our players to be that way, and we don't want to fall into that trap. The thing that I think that helps us do that, the thing that I think that helps us stay juiced up for this season and seasons to go and to come, and even in life, is understanding why we're here. And again, just to reflect on my why. I believe that I am here to use the education on the field and in the classroom to impact and significantly transform lives. And that's how we derive the mission statement for our program. And again, how we all do that is very different. You don't need to be me. I can't be you. You guys are wonderful people with your own talents and skills, but I do know my purpose. And even when I'm tired or questioning things, I can get up and go to work. I can get up and go to school. I can get up and go to practice, excited about no matter what goes on. I have these young men in front of me, and I am here to impact and transform those lives. And I just happen to do it on a football field, which is a great combination. So think about your purpose and why you're here and what you do things for. And be sure that if you can align your purpose with a bigger meaning, a transformational meaning, that it'll be much more enjoyable throughout the season, and you'll find success and enjoyment in all things, not just what we do on Friday nights. So with that, let's go, Calvert. I want to transition right now just to go over today's practice plan and go over this week, and then that way we have something to build upon as we get into the Saturday practice and the Saturday meeting time. All right, guys, welcome back here, and we've transitioned now to today's practice. Real quick, 4:30 sharp. We're going to start in the classrooms. I'll have those classrooms sent out to you guys. Traditionally, it's going to be in the third floor. Jason's going to be updating me on which classroom numbers they are. Him and James are always good about making sure those rooms are opened up. And then we're going to go ahead and install with the gold group in offense. So offense is going to start with gold. 4:30 to 5:05, we are going ahead and installing power counter and waggle. And I use that as an introduction, knowing that, maybe Keith and Dave have some other ideas in place, but nevertheless, I assume that's where we're starting. So I know that's where we'll be starting with the varsity. And these are obviously 3 big plays that I think are pretty important to our program. While the kids transition outside, give them some time to get down to the field. And at 5:25, we are jumping into, some fundamental drills for kickoff return. And so that's blocking in space, working on J-cupping and coming back and blocking. We've done this all before. Goal returns, working on kickoffs from blue kickers. So kickers are allowed to kick the ball off, and gold are able to return the ball. Gold fullbacks, gold upbacks, gold front line are working on blocking in space. If a quarterback and center is not being used in that capacity, they're going to take snaps and steps. And then the others will be doing play rehearsal, which should be just linemen. Then we're going to do some program warm-up. And then, again, we're going to do 4 drills in a circuit. James is going to have 2 defensive guys coming up with 2 drills. And then I'm going to have 2 offensive guys do the same thing. We'll rotate the kids through really, really quick. It's got to be fast. It's got to be explosive. It's got to be a lot of energy. It's got to set the tone. And what happens is in that time, we want to go ahead and have those kids do something that's football related, kind of conditioning, side shuffling, emphasizing some of the things that got to happen when they're shuffling left to right, backpedaling. The monkey drill is always good. Whatever it might be. I mean, shoot, if we want to throw the balls at the kids, linemen can go through that drill too. Maybe we're just tossing balls at the kids, working on catching the ball and getting it back and things like that. I mean, all these things work well, but it's a 4 drill circuit in which we're going to rotate through. And again, points of emphasis should be continuously coached up, and kids should be moving, not a lot of kids staying around. Then at 6:05 to 6:20, we're going to do group kickoff return for the gold. The guys who aren't involved in that will be play rehearsal, so we'll go ahead and start installing that. Right now, just so you guys are aware, we have the special teams broken down. Coach Rosella is in charge of kickoff return, and so he'll be reaching out and trying to get coaches from the offensive staff to help facilitate that and coach those positions up. I know Coach Rosella won't be here tonight, but him and I will communicate and talk about what those things entail. Defensively, Coach Mumal is going to be doing kickoff, and Coach Mumal is also going to be coordinating the special teams. We're excited about that. He did a great job of being very detail-oriented last year, and we'll talk about what those roles and responsibilities look like, and how we can help him do the best job possible to coordinate our special teams. And then, of course, with this, we have kickers, right? And Mikey's done a good job of hanging with those kickers and getting them involved. We have a kicker right now that we can't screw up. He's doing a phenomenal job. He's a 4-star punter out of 5 nationally. He's a 4.5-star place kicker. We got a special tool this year. And so that's what we're going to do there. And then we're going to break down and go right into individual period. Again, this is all kind of self-explanatory. Again, Dave and Keith and the rest of the offensive coaches, if you guys want to break that up and change it at all, by all means, feel free to do so. 8:05, we'll start program conditioning with 10 gassers with a 1-minute break. We slide over here to the defensive side, and much the same, right? I know Coach Johnson's going to have things laid out where we do some install, talking about our base defense alignments and coverages. This might not be exactly what they're installing. Coach will kind of change that up if necessary. And then again, we're going to go outside and those guys will be kicking off now. So the blue kickers will be kicking off, and then we'll have the blue lane players. These are all the other players. If you're not a guy kicking off, all the blue other guys that could be on kickoff are going to be doing block destruction. So running down, defeating blocks. And this, I think, is a great drill because we can take this and obviously start very close and compact, which I think emulates a lot of things that happen with all of our players who play defense and how we got to destroy blocks. And then we can slowly start pulling them apart, be it not today, but just in general, as we progress through this preseason to where we're actually disrupting or defeating blocks from a distance, where we may come in close contact, butt press, rip, get off, or get skinny and rip underneath. So meanwhile, the other guys will be doing offensive play rehearsal, maybe defensive, stance and starts, whatever you guys might want to do with the defensive bubbas over there. I would say that this should be defense. I'll change this right now. Defensive play rehearsal or defensive, whatever. We can do offense as well. And it'd be nice to have those skills. So don't feel like the defensive guys are obligated to be there with stance starts, because you guys are going to have plenty of individual time. So we got stretch, we get the 4 drill circuit, and then we got blue kickoff. And again, it's more or less installing a kickoff and getting everybody who could be possibly on those teams out there engaged in that. And of course, this is y'all's deal. It may be changed a little bit. I know Coach may end up playing with a little bit more to get more in line with what his goals are for today. But this is traditionally just the basic layout for today's practice. So with that, again, I did not push a lot of this information out prior to today. You guys have jobs, you have families that you guys have been working diligently to spend time at, to ensure that you're ready to go this season and that you're not stealing too much from Peter to pay Paul. And I respected that. And so I know that we're on deck now and it's on us and we're ready to go. And I'm sure you're excited. And I want to continue to encourage you guys to let those juices just continue to grow and get rejuvenated for this upcoming season. So there it is. I did tell you that I was going to share in our email as well the Joe Ehrmann video, so I'll have that in there. I encourage you to watch that 20-minute video on your own time. It's pretty good, really good. And then also know that we're on the Band app. And on there, it's got all the times of practices that the kids will be showing up for. And of course, I'd like for us to be there early to make sure we're setting up. And does not necessarily have the football, the coaches, schedule, which means includes our meetings and things like that. These are just the player meetings. So don't think just because practice ends at 12 on Saturday that we're done. We got a lot to do. And again, that's beyond our professional responsibility. That's the responsibility we have to be that coach that we want our son or daughter to have. So with that, guys, I'm excited. Get hydrated. I look forward to seeing you later. Go Calvert. I'm out. Boom.